All right, so after a long absence, Summerhill is very excited to release not one, but 2 labels of Gewürztraminer. And I'm here with some of the senior leadership at Summerhill, and we're gonna taste them and talk about them and introduce them to you.
So we made 2 labels of Gewürztraminer this year. One is to celebrate the single vineyard biodynamic wines that we're making on our estate vineyard, and the other is to celebrate the hard work of our growers and how Gewürz grows throughout the valley.
Susan, what is the first thing that you smell and taste?
Lychee for sure. A lot of lychee, rose petal.
Out the gate, I get tangerine. There is that little sort of like telltale hint of lychee, but to me, it's actually a little bit more of a really like concentrated sweet citrus.
The first thing that I smell is this incredible floral element, like rose, which is very characteristic of Gewürztraminer. But then underneath of that, there's this intense tangerine peel note that just comes through for me on the nose and also on the palate.
Okay, 2020 estate grown biodynamic. Same question. What's the first thing you smell and taste?
A little bit more sweetness, a little less floral. Taste is more of like the pith or like the good bitterness of like a grapefruit.
Like a really beautiful red, like a super ripe red apple. A little bit of lime, but like a candied lime almost. And a little, like a beautiful hint of spice, like a candied ginger.
This smells like ripe, spiced ambrosia apples. And the palate is a little more fresh than I would have expected, given the really ripe and intense nose. The palate for me is candied grapefruit. Really delicious, really juicy.
As I spill it everywhere. It's my first time drinking. Lots of beautiful, fresh, bright, kind of midsummer fruits. It tastes like an Okanagan summer walking through an orchard.
So our first pairing is a fresh made potato chip with our Spanish spice on it.
That works really well. The acid in the goo cuts the fat of the chip. There's a little bit of a spicy note to the chips with whatever seasoning's on it. And a little bit of residual sugar in the Gewürztraminer works really well. It's a nice pairing.
Okay, chip and biodynamic Gewu.
The texture and the flavor, like the intensity of flavor in this wine overpowers the chip, which is really funny because the seasoning on the chip is quite pungent and has a little bit of spice to it. I think that the organic Gewürztraminer was it was more successful in meeting the wine in the middle, whereas this wine is just so packed with flavor that it almost needs something more intense to really meet it in the middle, so to speak.
So with the second pairing, we took a little bit of a gamble here. So we're gonna roll a little panna cotta with some elderflower, some spice cake, and some sweet and spicy nuts, and then also with some ginger meringue. So due to the weight and the kind of like the freshness and the acidity of the wine, it should cut through that cream, and then the elderflower will just play off of like the floral part of the Gewürztraminer, and then the spiciness should just kind of help with the fruit and round everything out that's in the wine. So that's kind of our goal with this pairing.
Try to get a little bit of everything on the fork here. So this is really interesting. I think the texture, again, the body in the organic Gewürztraminer plays really nicely with the texture of the panna cotta, but I think the fruit character in the wine is changed in a way that makes it taste maybe not quite as juicy and delicious as it could. So I'm really excited to give this a try with the biodynamic Gewürztraminer.
I really have to say the biodynamic took it for me. Just from a texture perspective, the viscosity of both the dish and the wine were fully on point. So when the two connected, it was like this glorious, mouth-coating, heavenly.
Okay, final thoughts, Michael. Like, how would you use each wine differently? What's the occasion for each? Why would you choose one over the other?
For the organic Gewürz, I would use it for something that's got a little bit of spice to it, but not too much. Something with a little bit of fat, like the potato chip or pork belly. If you've got a dish with a lot of spiciness, I would probably go towards the Biodynamic Gewürztraminer over the organic. But they're both beautiful wines, and I think whatever you pair them with will be delicious.
The organic one to me is like fun, easy drinking, summer's day, snack food, sitting in the backyard. And the biodynamic one is a little bit, I'm having friends over for dinner and I want to pair it with wine a little bit more formal. But either way, you can't go wrong with either of them.
I have to say, I'm incredibly excited about this biodynamic Gewürztraminer. I was just speaking with Michael Alexander, a winemaker, and it sounds like we only have about 150 cases of this. So this is a wine that you don't want to miss out on. It's so packed with flavor and so packed with personality that I think you're gonna love it.
Gewürztraminer is a really noble grape, and it's not just, my words. It is one of the 4 Grand Cru grapes of Alsace, one of the original wine regions in the world. It is a really truly noble grape that's been around for centuries. So when you're actually accessing a varietal like that, especially when it's made this beautifully, you're kind of getting an opportunity to taste through history. And if that doesn't do it for you, there's also the fact that you might want to bathe in it. It smells so good.
My own closing thoughts. I don't know. It had this wonderful grapefruit note, that biodynamic Gewürztraminer. I'm going to go back to it. It really kind of caught my attention. It's really unique. An expression of Gewürztraminer I've never quite tasted before. So, they're both really good, and they both have their own roles to play on your table or on your patio or with your friends. And we really hope you enjoy them. Thank you guys so much for joining us.